Good morning and welcome to the regular meeting. The agenda looks rather long. We hope it will not be that involved. But should you have an item on the agenda and we take that up and move on, you may certainly feel free to leave, although we invite you to stay to see how county government works. And to begin to do that, I will call the meeting to order of the Cabell County Commission in room 300, third floor of the county courthouse, regular commission meeting for Thursday, March 24th, 2022. And as is custom, we begin with a prayer and a pledge. Let us pray. Most gracious and heavenly Lord, open our eyes to behold the beauty of your creation and all the blessings that you have given to us. May we be guided by your Spirit in the ways of truth, justice, and peace. May you be with the folks in Ukraine, those who fight to defend their homeland, and those who have left seeking asylum in other countries. We ask that you give us your strength and guidance that we may faithfully serve in the duties of our office to promote the well-being of all people through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the first item on the agenda is to approve the March 24th, 2022 regular commission agenda.
So moved.
Been moved. Second that, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next would be to approve the minutes of the special meeting of the Board of Ballot Commissioners on March 3rd, 2022.
Move to approve.
Second, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next is to approve the erroneous assessments, land consolidation, split tickets, and probate documentation from the county clerk's probate office.
So moved.
Been moved. I'll second that. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next is to approve purchase orders number 22-107898 through number 22-108057 and pay jackets, monthly payments to Fifth Third for fuel card purchases, handwritten checks to Unum for $8,087.94 and Guardian for $19,673.94.
Move to approve.
I'll second that. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
There is no one signed on our sheet to speak. If anybody has forgotten to sign in or would like to say something. Oh, you're gonna sign in?
Yeah, sorry.
What, are you speaking on something on the agenda?
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, we'll get you when the time comes.
I need to eventually, if I want to speak about the public, PSD.
It'd probably be a good idea.
You want to introduce our two elected officials that are visiting today? Chris and John.
Oh. Well,
I've always introduced me.
would you elected officials care to tell us who you are while you're here?
I'm Chris Tatum, I'm Mayor of Bargersville. I'm going to speak tonight on the agenda, Commissioner.
Delighted to have
Yes,
you.
I can. I've got a good horse, John Mant, the delegate in the 16th district here in Cabell County.
Thank you all for your service to the community and the county.
Thank you.
The first item on the agenda is item number 22-03-24-066, a discussion concerning Pea Ridge Public Service District and issues in Guyana Estates. And we have Dina Foster, who is here to answer questions. We
She
do?
was supposed to be.
Well, she is not here.
Is she out in the hallway? To
Uh,
confirm?
Who's that?
She
Why
did.
don't we
Just,
wait and see if she
yeah,
comes?
right,
Let's
We'll
move it
right,
to the,
yeah. this-
we'll move it to
that's
the foot of the
Yeah.
agenda or do something.
Right.
can I move it to the,
Okay, the next item would be item 067, the estate of Robert Lowry Young regarding notice of objections and qualifications of Denise Lynn Young as executrix of estate of Robert Lowry Young and petition for removal of Denise Lynn Young as executrix and for appointment of an independent executor.
Are you here
Mr.
for
Watson?
that? Are you here for that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Come on up.
Tell us who you are.
Oh, you want to just stand right?
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay. Commissioners, my name is Gordon Lane. I represent Eric Young, who's the son of John Paul Young.
Right. Let me, Mr. Lane, I have reviewed all the paperwork,
Okay.
complaint, depositions, all of it. Primarily, you talked about a fiduciary supervisor. Campbell County doesn't have that. Charleston does. We have fiduciary commissioners
Right.
that we send these to. The bulk of what's before to be decided is in the circuit court. You filed all that. And so all we're going to talk about today is the issue of filing of the appraisal or the lack thereof.
Oh, okay.
And now I haven't talked to Dan Conrad. He represents the executrix, the wife of the son, or the brother, I'm sorry. And so I don't know if they're working on that now or not.
Sir, we stopped in when we got here this morning, and it was filed yesterday.
Oh, okay. So we don't, what we were going to have to do to expedite getting that filed, since it hasn't been filed in a timely manner as far as you all are concerned, was to refer it to a fiduciary commissioner and have him determine what the delay was and so forth and so on. So if that's now been filed, that's all really this commission was going to go into, because the bulk of everything that needs to be determined about the undue influence and the last will and all
Sure.
that is in circuit court.
That litigation is in circuit court.
Right,
Yes.
so I think it will make the decisions involving all that, whether that will is valid or not, and
Sure.
so that's our position.
Okay. Will the commissioner or commission, we were hoping that the commission would address whether or not Denise Young should be removed as executrix. Should that go to a fiduciary commissioner?
I
Or-
would think so, only because he, the fiduciary commissioner, would have a hearing, and you and Mr. Conrad, I guess, would appear before him along with your clients and discuss those issues.
Would be happy to do that.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to speak on the first issue, and I can't stay here all day or whatever. I'm a guy in the States, so.
Let us make a motion on this and we'll do that then. And your motion would
My
be
motion is to refer it to supervise, to a
fiduciary commission.
fiduciary commissioner, yes.
Well, I'll move that.
and I will second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 You will be contacted by the fiduciary commissioner,
Thank you.
and he'll set a hearing date. Thank you for being here.
You resolved it much quicker than letting me talk.
Well, it was a lot of paperwork.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. You like to comment on the Pea Ridge Public Service
Yeah.
District?
I wanted to know as.
Would you stand up and tell us who you are?
You can come up front.
James Allman, I live in United States, and I called you, Mr. Morgan, I guess it's probably a year ago. about
Yeah.
The proposal to expand it.
Right.
I feel that what was done, the way to determine the rates, I have no, opposition to the, expansion, may or may not be done, but it looks like what happened, was we didn't need it. Existing customers did not need it, but people in Ohio River Road and Marriage Creek did, and the village did, Village of Barbersville. And as they published it in the paper, it looked like the rate structure was requiring existing customers to pay for the expansion so you could bring in the customers who really did need it. I have no problem with that, but our bills are going up 100% to 150% so that expansion can occur. I talked to you, Mr. Morgan, said this seemed unfair, and you agreed. I just wondered, was this ever passed? You all had to approve this project and the rate structure. And we're starting to get real high bills out there, and for no reason other than this project is being funded.
Is that Dina?
Uh,
Dina's here.
Dina's here.
Mm-hmm.
The Pea Ridge Public Service District's here.
She here now.
Pardon?
Yeah.
No, she's here now.
What's that?
She's here.
Dina is here.
Tina's here.
Oh, as I understand, what we approved is, was their issuance of bonds and that sort of thing to go ahead and do that. And we didn't really approve rates or anything, is that correct?
I don't remember anything about the rates. This is the,
Who does
Expansion.
approve the rates?
It's
Well, we
all
were
part of it.
earlier this morning talking about the legislation that brought public service district of a certain size, larger than some, the larger size public service districts, to the commission to oversee. And of course, most commissioners, I expect, in the state of West Virginia are not familiar with operation of public service districts and that sort of thing. And the best I can tell you right now is to ask if Ms. Foster might give you some thoughts on the rates maybe, or have you already talked to her?
I attended the meeting out the public service office probably in 2020, and that was right during COVID, and there was to be a meeting here with the county commission about that subject, and the meeting was canceled, and I called you, and asked all the commissioners to call me. You were the only one that did call back. I don't know if you were a commissioner, didn't call me, but the rates are totally unfair for the existing customers. I read and studied the proposal in the paper. I have no problem with the proposal. It looks like the Village of Barbersville for $2 million, if that's what they need to totally rebuild theirs. They said, we'll pay for it, and we want to hook on, and they're finished. And I don't know what the Ohio River Road and Marriage Creek are paying, but our rates are going up, and it looks like we are paying the same rates as the new customers, and that's where the costs are coming. Much of the costs are coming is for the new lines and all the infrastructure for the new system. And it appears from the information that was in the paper and that the public service district sent to us was the existing customers, our bills are going way, way up, double and triple for whatever reason. And that's obviously doesn't appear to be fair. That's my hope, that's my concern. And there's hundreds of people out there concerned. I don't know why they don't know how government operates. They just assume everybody's taken care of. Well, we did get taken care of, but not in the way that I think was fair or appropriate.
Right.
That's my,
You live in Guyana Estates?
yes, I've been there for 47 years, so. When I moved there, our rates were $11. Now they're going up, some of them are over $100 a month. And
it's the PSC is the one that approves the rates. And we, the commission, we only appoint the board members. We don't have any
What's this
rates.
project, cause they told me the opposite, that you all had to approve this and that was kind of a done
Project,
deal.
the project was approved.
Yeah, we did approve the project. And,
But see, if you approved the project, you approved the rate structure, because that's how it had to be funded.
but the PSC is the one that sets the rates.
Right, I understand that, but that's their proposal, and it has to get approved by the county commission and the West Virginia Public Service Commission. it's totally unfair. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense for us to have to pay for the expansions for the county. They need it, I understand that, and the village needs a new system, and I understand that, and but I just want it to be done fairly. I mean, folks out there can't afford $150. It's been probably approximately the same as your water bill. Now, it's going to go up, people can't afford it. They really can't afford it, and that's where we're at.
The legislation is really needs taken a look at again, because what happens is the commission is charged with approving the bonding so that the projects can go forward, but there's no oversight by the commission for anything else.
Well,
Or
if
on
you
the
approve,
rates.
if you approve that, you've
I
approved it.
understand, but the way the legislation's written, it has to be done that way or it doesn't go forward at all, but the PSC is the one that sets the rate, so it's, the legislation really needs
Well, they
looked
have
at
to be
again.
approved by the Public Service Commission,
Right.
correct?
Right,
Has that been done? Because our rates are, the sewage rates, monthly sewage rates are already increasing. And that's how I found out apparently the project was approved and whatever your all's role was, because I was told that by the Public Service Commission that this was probably in your all's bailiwick to approve. And if you've approved it, you've approved that rate structure, because that's the only way the project can be funded. And that was,
Will you be able to stick around for, Dina to make her presentation?
is yours about the
Why
rates?
don't we just let her go ahead and do that?
Yeah, why don't we just
You, Tina? You
come
wanna
forward? Come forward.
come forward and it's,
That's
the,
not-
the answer is we'll try to find an answer for you. That's the
That's
best.
what I was told before,
Yeah.
because of COVID,
Right.
there was never further information. They said they would look, said you all would look at the rate structures, seemed unfair, which it is unfair. And again, I'm for the project,
I
I'm,
agree 100%. It all is, yeah.
thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Would you tell us who you are?
Yes, I'm Dina Foster. I'm the general manager of Pea Ridge PSD.
Yeah, not sure, we may have poked a sleeping bear or some such thing. But there was questions from some of the customers in Guyana States particularly about the system that you have being able to take care of when we get an extra heavy rain or that sort of thing to prevent backing up. And then we had a letter from one of your customers who said, I'd be delighted to pay my bill if I could get one. And we just thought maybe you'd like to come down and talk to us about that. I know you've talked to the people involved, so.
It's been crazy. First I'll address the billing part. We really don't know what's going on. We send out 5,000 bills every month. And for some reason, Guyana States, Holy Court, everyone there on alternate 10 and Martin Drive haven't been getting their bills. We've called the postmaster, we've talked to them, and they say they don't know. I was talking to somebody yesterday in Charleston, and they said that they filed a complaint. The postal, whoever's above the postmaster, will put some type of tracking on the bills. Now, some of the customers have called the Barbersville post office, and they told them, well, their machines won't process their cards, but they process all the other ones. So, I know it's frustrating for the customers, it's equally frustrating for us. When people come and say they haven't gotten their bills, we've taken their penalties off, we have not shut them off. We've done everything we can, and we're really not getting any answers yet.
I guess they go, as I understand it, it's a card that you send, goes at a postcard first class rate or a bulk rate or
Oh, great.
bulk rate.
And we send them all at the same time. We take a big bucket of them and hand it to the post office. And then my understanding is it goes to Charleston and then it comes back. Some of our bills have Huntington zip codes, and they go to a different post office. At the Barbersville, people that have a Barbersville address, it goes back to the post office in
Yeah.
Barbersville.
I get mine from Barbersville. And it comes every month.
And we've never had that problem before that I know of.
I can speak to that as a customer. Out of the last 3 billings, we didn't get 2 of them.
Some people didn't get three.
Pardon?
Some people haven't gotten three of them.
And the last year, we didn't get a couple, and we get the cutoff shut, water's gonna go out and everything. The reason I didn't speak to that is because if they don't send their bill, I don't have a problem with that, but I'm joking. But, then they called, she said, you know, we get a letter and said our service will be cut off, and we go over and you paid over there, and I think that someone said there was 40 customers that we know of out of the 400 in the United States did not get their bill because we have a Facebook group of the United States. And I'm sure this can be resolved. My big concern is that rates, but this other issue, what I understand is that paper card may not be going through the processing center in Charleston. It's getting,
Well, all the other ones are, so I don't know why.
well, I
They're all
don't
the
either.
same card. That's what's so mysterious. We just haven't been able to.
We get the cutoff notice, which is in an envelope, but we don't get the bill, so. And I think it's 2 or 3 times last year, and the last 3 months, I think we got 2, we did not get 2 bills, and that's a nuisance more than a major problem that should be able to be corrected, if we find out.
I sure hope so. It's a nuisance for us too.
But what I understood was it was either probably and people have talked to the local post office, they send these to Charleston, where a machine sorts them, and they said maybe the machine up there, there's 2 things it could only be, and that's when the machine up there is chopping these things up or throwing them out or something, or why it would be just United States, I don't know. And the other would be is, I don't know what your billing process is maybe if it's done by computer, maybe for some reason there's something happening in the function of the building.
We've checked after the first month, we made sure, because we print our bills ourselves, and we go through as they print out. So what we were
You check
saying,
to make sure that all of them 420 United States legal. I don't know the answer to that, but
yeah, this month, when we bill at the end of the month, we're going to actually separate them and take them to the post office separate.
Well, Obviously, we're not gonna solve that here today. And the other issue,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
we'll probably be calling you to get some more information and see what we can do about that. Yes, sir.
Morgan, is there any way you could possibly check into that rate structure and
Yes.
see if it was
Yes.
done? If it's done fairly, I have no problem with it.
Right.
But it appears since the new customers are, and I understand the village of Barkersville, rates don't even go up. So they've got, I don't know,
He said they're not,
I mean, if that
they're
even,
not going up.
that makes it even, if they're paying $28 a month, we're paying 115, and you figure that out, so something's not
Okay.
quite
All right,
apparently correct.
okay, as I said, we probably poked something we didn't want to poke, but, yes, sir.
I got a couple, my name's Howard Underwood, and I live in United States. On the billing issue, I have a couple of questions that have never been directed. There's no website where we can go and pay the bill or check what our bill is, log in and pay it, other than that DOXO, which is,
There's another one,
which is pathetic.
right.
There's no other way to describe that system except pathetic. Can the district create where the customer, Jim's case, my case, or anybody else's case, go in, log in, find out we owe $45 or $145 and pay our bill? Cause my wife is notorious that she gets a bill and she pays it the next morning. She's hardcore about that, but she gets really difficult to deal with when she gets a statement in an envelope that says she's past due. She didn't get the bill and there's a $7 and something charge added to it for a disconnect notice
Now,
on the first bill after,
now one thing we have been doing, people come in or call and say they didn't get their bill, we are waiving that penalty. And we're also not turning people off, we have a whole list of people that have called and,
Okay,
You said
thank
there
you.
is a different way to pay it than that?
yes.
Can you explain that to him?
Yeah, if you could just go to our website, and you have to go to pridgepsd.com and not that the one that you're talking about. It's kind of somehow those have been created all over the place.
well, is there a way you could create on that web page that you're talking about that everybody, all the dummies like me goes to, that it would have a link to pay your bill and go over to your other website so we can find it?
Yes, if you just,
You know what I'm saying? There ought to be a link there that says pay your bill,
yes,
and we could go in and log in. There's nothing there.
that's what there was.
On that website, there's nothing there. I've looked, trying to calm my wife down about that, but that's not my biggest beef with Pea Ridge, but.
Well, okay, we've heard that, and you have another beef though too, I understand.
Yeah, my beef is with the influence of water and the $6 million that we're asking the county to cut loose on the ARA money, or whatever you call it, this session. When we need $1 million to solve the problem for Guyana Estates, according to their application, or their letter they wrote last summer. And it's not been addressed, and I'm not seeing an application for that $1 million to go in and fix the water problem and the manhole problem. I've still not, it's been 20-some days since I got your email, and I've not even seen an application yet where you're asking them for money, and they got a deadline posted on their, coming up.
Well, that application has been submitted. We did send a letter to the commission on June 28th of 2021, asking for money to fix that. The problem with Guyana Estates, when we bought Guyana Estates from Mason Utilities, all the pipes in there are clay, and all the manholes are brick. And, brick held together by concrete or whatever. And that over the years has deteriorated. Clay pipe stays pretty well, but all the joints come apart. So we have been looking at this forever, knowing that we need to address that. We have contacted companies who will line the lines, because Guyana Estates lines are pretty straight, they just have those leaks. And when we have contacted a company that will come in and seal all those manholes, and that will last forever. The total cost, let's look what I have for Guyana Estates.
$1,185,000
Yes.
according to your letter.
455, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll pay the $465 right now. So now we get it down to 1,100,000. My beef is in 2005, I was told that this was gonna be addressed under that bond issue that we spent all that money on when our rates went up, as everybody is complaining about, which I haven't complained about rates ever. But in 2005, I was told this was gonna be corrected, and it was not even addressed. And the person that told me that was your all's meetings and Richard with Thrasher Engineering. Richard's no longer with Thrasher, but now the new guy, he tells me that there's no money to do it with, Howard, don't worry about it. It's not his house getting flooded.
No, and we don't like that either, because not only, it gets in people's homes, but also ends up in our plant, which is treating water that it doesn't need to be treating. Because our plant is already at capacity, and it puts it over capacity when we get a lot of rain. So, we just, we wanna address that. I know it needs to be addressed. When we did that big project you're talking about, we took the pond out of service, added a lift station to bring it into our aid plant, which is our main plant. At the time, we really didn't know how bad in shape those lines were. We found that out after we have a camera that goes into the lines, and we went in and looked at the condition of everything. So it's been one of those out there to get done as soon as we can get some money to do it. And when this ARP money came up, I had my
So
supervisor put that together.
at this point, you've actually have 2 requests into the county for money.
I can only find one on the website, on the commissioner's website. And that's the one for the 5 million something to extend the plant and extend the line up Route 2 and to pick up Barbersville. which is all great. Everybody deserves clean sewer system. All I'm asking is fix the one we got.
Yeah, we've got some issues out, like same ways for Colony, they have a private system, you've got Esquire, you've got other, pockets of the county that have dire need as well. Just because it's a request doesn't mean that all of that's gonna get honored, we need to sit down and do our due diligence and try to, you know, weigh the priority.
And
throughout the
speaking
county.
of that, 2 meetings ago here, it was mentioned that the governor had about $90 billion with a B of new money up there. Has there been any
He's
request?
supposed to get that.
Huh?
I don't think it's come into the state yet.
Has there been any request or communications to the governor's office and the baby dog up there about, let's get a few more million in Capital County?
Has
There-
it been?
That's a big dog, you know, 90 billion.
Yeah, we're telling everybody to.
Everybody wants a piece of that pie.
Right.
I just want a little
Just
piece
like
of it.
everybody wants a piece of the 17 million that the county's getting.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
understand.
I understand.
We all understand it. Chad, did you say that there's only
Yeah,
one?
there's only one application from
Yeah.
Peerage PSD.
When did
There's
you,
two in there now.
It
When
was
did
a
you-
letter or an application.
Oh, well. If
When did
fill
you
it out
s-
today, I haven't transferred over.
when did you submit the second one?
Not until this morning.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
I've been working on it for a while.
Okay.
I didn't know that it was one with this federal.
Yeah, I got that.
Well,
I will convert it, have it on there.
On the application we sent in, it was for more than just the kind of states, with Richmond, the old Richmond system's in the same shape. And
There's 2 other points I'd like to make. One, we haven't seen the third stage of price increases, as I understand it. That's 1 June. So if you think people are irate now, I don't know what the next stage is, but they're really gonna be irate when they get the third stage. If there's kind of staged, I think, was it three or,
4 stages.
it's going up. And I know why we do that. It makes it feel like it's not as bad as it did if you just told them up front what it's gonna cost you. But you'll need a bigger room than this probably next June when they start getting those bills out. And the other thing is I'm a civil engineer and I've worked with some of these sewage places, the PSDs around the district. When you build a new one, there is always major problems. I don't know why that is. That for some reason, our new young people can't design stuff the way we used to design stuff. So I would like to see the village be required as, after this project is constructed, have some mechanism, because there's gonna be problems. It's not gonna just be a steady rate. There's gonna be a lot of upgrades and things with a new system. That's just my experience seeing these things around the state. And they're not filters or whatever. It's usually major problems that cost a lot of money. So I hope the village be prepared to increase their contribution to the monthly bills, because they're gonna raise, after we get to the final stage, right now, and they build a new one, we will have complications. That seems to be the norm. I hope not, and I won't see them probably, because I'm getting up there.
maybe we'll see if we can put you, Mr. Underwood, on the board. That's just sort of a little aside. But you two obviously have dealt with systems. I noticed Kelly taking notes. I've got all kinds of notes.
The mayor just raises.
I
I'd
don't
like,
see-
if you don't mind, I'd like to dispel a little bit. of what
Tell us who you are.
We Chris Tatum, I'm the mayor of Barbersville.
Thank you.
We actually are in the middle of a rate increase
Can
as
you come
well, a 4-step rate increase. So we have a couple steps that have not been implemented in Barbersville either. So what we're doing, just for full disclosure, is we are contributing to the overall project, but we are also reserving capacity. So we're contributing to the project, but in the end, what will happen for us is Barbersville Sanitary Board will still operate as its own public utility. We're directing our flow from the lagoons that you see when you're going along I-64 to the right of the Merritt's Creek exit. Our flow of our sanitary sewer system would be directed to the plant at P Ridge. We're paying for that expansion for them to handle us. So in essence, whenever our portion of the project is done, we're paying P Ridge for treatment only. We'll still operate our own pump stations. We'll still work on our own pump stations and sanitary sewer lines as we always have. And our upfront investment is to give them the expansion that they need, one, to handle us, and then with our reservation of capacity, there's room for both of us to grow if there is in fact expansion for them and or Barbersville. So our rate increases, we're in the middle of a 4-step increase as well that have not fully have come to full fruition for us either. If you look at our rates within the state of West Virginia, right now we're probably in the bottom third after our last rate increase due to this expansion and improvements that we'll be doing. We'll be more in the top half of rates in terms of cost to the customers when it's all said and done. Having said that, our application is to you folks today is simply for the gap that we've come across due to COVID. Our project was X when we got our original cost estimates and our engineering design numbers. Once everybody was able to get back to work, the cost was inflated in the amount of around $750,000, which we had to wade through these rate increases, EDA loans, and asking the governor's office for infrastructure money as well. We've been to DC to ask them about the parameters of the next round of money that's gonna come out. So we are still going to explore those avenues to help us with the cost of this project in order to help us stay out of our customers' pockets as long as we can. But ultimately, as you all know, if you cannot find the money in other ways to make sure the system runs so that bath water's not stopped up in the bathtubs and the commodes are flushing in people's houses, you have to find the money somewhere. And unfortunately, I'm gonna get a rate increase just like everybody else. But our ask today for you guys is to cover that gap. So we appreciate your consideration.
Chris, is that rate that you're gonna be paying the public service to tie in, because after it's all done, what I understand is you commit to the system and you're finished, you pay whatever that rate is per month. I'm not sure if that 20.
Well, that P-Ridge has the ability to adjust our rates for treatment as well. Now those will be ongoing discussions between P-Ridge and us, but our costs, we still set our own rates. The village will still set our own rates because we'll continue to operate as a public service, as a public utility.
But I understand that, but you're tying in at one point.
Yes,
right? It's gonna come
correct.
at one point, and if our costs increase to operate our plant because of, for whatever reason, I anticipate they will go up, or
I would imagine that would be something that they would talk to us about, assessment of
I thought that
fees.
should have been really in the initial contract, because what I understand was you all was gonna have to spend $2 million to build a new plant because of the system now is in capacity. And you said, we'll pay $2 million when, for what's gonna cost, what we were gonna pay anyway, to join your system back. You know, and that's-
Well, then I see how that perception can be, yes, but no, I mean, we're gonna be partners for a long while, and they have the ability, I mean, for treatment of our sanitary sewer, I would think that we would have to have those discussions every time. Because the increased cost, I mean, we're still gonna maintain our system, our lines and we're still gonna have the cost increases just like they will. So I would imagine that those discussions will be ongoing as anything else. I mean, we're paying a bill to them just like you guys are. So I would imagine that there'll be a point where we have to have discussions about what we pay them for treatment.
I think we beat this to death, I'm sorry.
Right.
Right.
Not,
Appreciate the laugh.
not to prolong it, obviously Kelly and I can't solve this sitting up here today. And there's several directions we seem to need to go. Back to when the bonds were approved, what did we do to the rates? Can we help anybody get their bill? Can we help Barbersville and Guyana Estates get the, what would be rainwater out of the system? And we're not gonna solve it today, but obviously we have some people who are familiar with systems like that. And the best I can say is, we'll promise to work on it. I really don't have any other thoughts. We'll probably be visiting you, if that's all right, to find out about things, maybe see what we can get done and find out really what the legislation says that brought you all here today to talk to the county commission. So that's, I would like to thank you for your time to be here. Ask Kelly, you got any questions?
Have you had any complaints from other subdivisions or neighborhoods in relation to the antiquated, like the clay pipes and whatnot? And
Richmond
backup?
is a big one. Richmond system. The last big project we did, we took care of, a lot of other, areas. And when we did that project, it was like every week something else came up we could have added to the project. And at some point we said, okay, let's get it done, so we'll never get it done. And then, as we went on and there were issues, we've done our own work and looked at lines and that are two big ones are United States and Richmond system.
It might be beneficial for our county if we could identify the needs for upgrades and infrastructure, and then make a big application to the state to cover some of those. So if we can be made aware of other issues.
Well, and the thing about the rates, if I may talk about that, that's always a question that comes up when there's a sewer system being built that's going to other people and role of the current customers. Unfortunately, and the PSC has held us.
Could you speak up a little bit? We have it on tape.
Oh,
If you could
sure.
speak up a little bit.
That's always been an issue whenever there is a new system, new customers, the old customers paying for part of it. And it's just, the PSC has never allowed us to have separate rate structures. That's never been allowed. And the theory behind that is that, yeah, you're paying for these new customers, but they're also helping pay for any upgrades you may need, because your system is older. A lot of these systems, these old systems were built with grant money, so that kept the rates low. Well, grant money just isn't out there anymore. And we have for years, and all the last 3 projects we did, we were told our rates aren't low enough to get grant money. So we've had to borrow money every time. Now the other thing with this project is that we're upgrading the plant, which will benefit all customers. It will reduce our O&M. Right now, our plant is in such shape that we cannot get parts anymore. So if it wasn't for the good people that I have working there, our plant wouldn't even be working. We can't let that happen. So we've got to get this project done. The extra, yes, we're spending more money extending service to other people, but those customers help pay for that also. So
My
that's just,
concern there was, I think that we're taking on more customers with Barkersville than we are already. I mean, it's not like we're adding customers, we're making going from a system like this to a system like this, and I just think we need to make sure everybody's being treated fairly, including the village, and because it's a good thing. Obviously, it's a good thing. It's how it's paid for.
well, originally we had a project to redo the plant and expand service because we've had a lot of requests for service of Maris Creek, the 4-lane highway, Route 2, and then the village of Barbersville came to us and said, hey, it's going to cost us millions of dollars to build a plant. Would you be willing to take it, and we'll make your plant bigger, and we'll give you that difference. So that's what happened. So the plant will be plenty big enough. The other thing we're going to do, and this should be rate neutral because of the O&M savings that we're going to see, is our B plant that's on West P Ridge. We're going to bring in a plant also. I mean, that plant's even older than the big plant, and it's in worse shape. And we're spending a lot of money on pumps and parts, and and again, like we had our UV system that treats the water before it goes to the river. We can't get parts for it anymore, so we have to go to chlorine treatment on both plants. It's
Okay,
cost.
we've heard a lot. I understand, I think, most of the issues, and quite possibly, as Kelly suggests, we could lump all these together and go see where we can find money. But
Are you gonna make sure though that on the website, there's a link to where people can go on
Yeah,
and
I
pay
thought
their
there
bills.
was, yes, I'll check on it.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, we thank you. We thank you, Jim.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Howard. Another question, or you were just,
I had another question, but we can get this on another meeting, I guess.
right, okay.
We work.
We may have to have one just for you all. And we would move then next to item number 068, approval of the 2022-2023 Cabell County General Fund and coal severance fund levy estimate budget documents.
This is the budget for the upcoming fiscal year for the county and the coal severance fund. It is due to the auditor's office by the 28th, and we await approval from them once I submit it.
And I will move to approve.
Been moved, I'll second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The budget is approved. Next is item 069, acceptance of audit report of Cabell County Commission for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2021.
Yes, and we have some gentlemen here from BHM who got the bid on the audit this year, for last fiscal year. Would you all introduce yourselves, please?
Sure. My name's Tim Loiford. I was the audit director working directly on the audit.
My name's Paul Rennick. I worked with the county on the financial statement preparation.
I'm Mike Lester. I'm the senior partner over the audit division. Yeah.
Proceed.
Tim, would you like to give us a
Yes, I'll give
review
an
of it?
overview.
Thank you.
Like I said, my name's Tim Loiford. I was the CPA directly working over the county's audit this year. Once again, I want to say thank you for the opportunity to provide audit services to the county. Beth was great working with, again, to coordinate, giving us space and opportunity to come. All the staff was open and giving us any information that we requested in a timely manner, and helping us out along the way. Just a reminder that this is a financial statement audit, that it's not a fraud audit. We do set materiality limits and make sure the financial statements are materially misstated. During the course of the audit, we did not find any material misstatements. There were no audit adjustments that were required to correct the financial statements. For the FY21 year, it was a single audit, meaning that you had expenditures in excess of $750,000 from the federal government. The program that was selected for testing was the CARES Fund. It was over $3 million that was received by the county. So we did an examination of all those reimbursements that were submitted and approved and sent back to the county. We didn't find any issues with the CARES dollars that was received and how they were allocated and reimbursed during that process. We thought the controls were in place and adequate. We found no internal control issues that were required to be communicated to you all today. We felt like the control structure is sound and in place and allowing the financial process to function properly throughout the county. We are independent from the county. In fact, in appearance, we have no influence or anyone sitting on the board, or the commissioners, or any other elected officials that would sway our independence. The opinion that we give over the financial statements is an unmodified opinion, which is the cleanest opinion that we can give as independent auditors. Like I said, there was no findings, no audit adjustments. We did not seek outside counsel or outside accounting firms. No second opinions, no disagreements with management that I'm aware of. Everything was taken care of during the course of the audit, and there were no significant issues. It was a clean opinion, clean report, no audit findings for this current year.
And the county qualifies as a low-risk auditee for the federal program, so that saves the testing. Where if you're high risk, we have to test 40% of the expenditures, whereas if you're low risk, you only have to test 20%, and that's due to their good record of audit findings in the past, not having any. So.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You have about 60 pages that I want to go through, but actually I'm going to go through very, very briefly about 3 pages. It's like an executive summary for the financial statements. One of the things we always try to do is just summarize where things are. I don't have one for everybody in the room, but anyways, This was a positive year from the county from a financial reporting perspective. Obviously, COVID and everything that's happened has made things a challenge, but the county has done a good job of buckling down and managing the resources they have. The bottom line, assets were up by about 19.7 million. And you might say, wow, that's a ton of money, but remember, there's a couple big factors in there. General fund was up about 3.9 million in cash. The ambulance fund about 3.5 million. American Rescue Plan was the largest chunk, that was 8.9 million, and you're getting another share, or you've either already received it or you're getting it this year.
Right.
And the CARES Act, or its COVID-19 pandemic, was up about 1.8. Receivables up about 0.6 million, taxes receivable up about 0.7. When you have increases in property valuation, that's gonna increase the dollars going in. Spent a little over 1.2 million on machinery and equipment. Vehicles was a chunk of that, and then other equipment, 911, EMS, sheriff, all assessor, all the dollars that are required to go out there. Depreciation, that's just showing the assets being worn out as they go over time. That was a little over $2 million. So it shows as an expense, but it's not, and it's not cash going out the door. The cash going out the door is to buy the new vehicles. Net pension assets, it's kind of a non-thing for you guys. It's basically retirement system and the health retirement system from the West Virginia has actuarial calculations, and we have to add assets and liabilities to your financial statements. It really doesn't have anything to do with your budget and those kind of things, but it's things that are required for reporting. Liabilities were up slightly. Anytime they're just up slightly is a good thing. Accounts payable was up, or actually went down just a little bit. Bonds went down. Again, anytime you can be paying off debt and not having to issue new debt, that's a positive thing. Notes payable, which was the voting machines and some of the other things, was down by almost $250,000. The thing you see there about net pension liabilities, again, remember, those are actuarial related. It has nothing to do with your regular financial, your day-to-day operations. It's you guys make your pension contributions and your healthcare contributions, and as long as you do that, you're good. The state of West Virginia and the retirement and healthcare systems take care of those. But we're required to show those in your financials, so that's why you see. Net OPEB liability went down a little bit, again, the same reason. Sick leave and vacation liabilities, they increased slightly. Overall revenues went up by about $16.9 million. The biggest piece there was the CARES Act money, $8.9 million. The COVID, or the CARES Act, about $2.9 million. CCMS, EMS monies, grant monies, about 3.1, and then property taxes about 1.5. So again, the positive thing, there was a lot of grant monies out there. We don't know how much longer that's going to stay, but as long as those are there, it's helped the county in terms of managing expenses. Overall expenses went down about 1.4 million. Primary reasons, the pension expense, which is like a non-cash item, but a good thing, decreased healthcare cost. Almost $1 million. The switch that the county made a couple years ago has been huge. It's made a significant difference on behalf of the county. It's one thing you just never know. Healthcare, with a lot of entities we deal with, those costs have gone up, and you've done a good job in managing that. Other reductions of expenses due to controls over budgets. Bottom line, county's done an excellent job of maintaining control of their budgets. You think about it with COVID and the fact that you received grant monies, but you had other revenues that you used to help keep your employees out there doing, quite honestly, in most counties, you have a ton of essential workers, as they define them, and you guys have kept them employed, and you've done a good job of providing services even through one of the most difficult times in our country's history. So overall, you've kept the county in a very positive situation to maintain good control. In my view, looking at it, from the outside, is you guys are doing a really positive job here, doing a good job. Yes, there's always going to be needs for money, as you see with some of the requests, but hey, at least you guys, you're all staying on top of it. So I'd be glad to answer any questions, but everybody's been a pleasure to work with, it's so helpful, and we just really appreciate that.
Question?
I don't have any specific questions. I would just like to thank you for your work on this, but more importantly for our staff. You know, we've had our staff just really step up and keep us on track. So we have a debt of gratitude to our staff here. So thank you.
Yeah, I would give thanks to you all and also to the elected officials and to the county administrator who have cracked the whip in so many words to keep things moving and keep us in line. And we thank you all for that. And is there a motion to accept this?
I'll move to accept.
I'll second that. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The audit report is accepted.
Thank you.
all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Item 070 is resolution, Cabell County Commission regarding employment of Jacob Stewart as a full-time emergency medical vehicle operator, reclassification of Shane Black as a per diem EMT, Clarence Bowman as a per diem EMT, and Mark Cooper as a full-time paramedic.
I move to approve.
Been moved, I'll second it. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Resolution passes. 071 is a letter regarding a resolution, a grant application, Victims of Crime Act Fund, also known as VOCA, fiscal year 22 in the amount of $224,613. Comments from
Did you all
anyone?
wanna speak to it, or is that what you were here?
I mean, if you had any questions, we were here.
I don't have any. Thank you. So moved.
A second that goes to help pay attorneys, investigators, other people.
The victim advocates.
Yeah. Been seconded, it's been moved, I'll second it. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The resolution is adopted. Next is item 072, proclamation of Cabell County Commission regarding Red Cross Month for March 2022. And we have somebody with us from the Red Cross? We do. We have two people with us from the Red Cross.
We've got two of us. I'm Amber Whitman, the Executive Director for the Tri-State Chapter of the Red Cross. You might have seen our office, it's pretty big. It's located right down there by Pullman Square beside Heritage Station. So we're pretty large. We've got the blood services and humanitarian services all in one building. So we cover 15 chapters, and that's our largest location besides Charleston. So thank you for allowing me to speak today, and thank you for allowing to hear our proclamation. So I'll get right into it. That's okay.
Okay.
So our proclamation is, I'll just read through this, it's very brief, but it's for declaring American Red Cross as March as Red Cross Month. So in times of crisis, people in our community come together to care for one another. The humanitarian spirit is part of the foundation of our community and is exemplified by our local American Red Cross volunteers and donors. In 1881, Clara Barton founded the American Red Cross, turning her steadfast dedication for helping others into a bold mission of preventing and alleviating people's suffering. Whereas today, more than 140 years later, we honor the kindness and the generosity of Red Cross volunteers here in our local community, who continue to carry out Clara's life-saving legacy. They join the millions of people across the United States who volunteer, give blood, donate financially, or learn vital life-preserving skills through the Red Cross. Whereas in our community, the contributions of the local Red Cross volunteers give hope to the most vulnerable in their darkest hours. Whether it's providing emergency shelter, food, and comfort for families devastated by local disasters like home fires and severe unexpected weather. Donating essential blood for accident and burn victims, leukemia, cancer, or sickle cell disease, supporting service members and veterans, along with their families and caregivers, through the unique challenges of military life, helping to save the lives of others with first aid, CPR, and other skills, or delivering international humanitarian aid. Whereas last year, just in the Tri-State Chapter, with the challenges of the pandemic and COVID-19, the Red Cross assisted over 250 families impacted by the disaster, installed over 300 smoke alarms, educated more than 400 students in preparedness education, We collected almost 8,500 units of life-saving blood at over 570 blood drives. We trained over 5,500 people in skills such as CPR, first aid, and water safety. We provided nearly 800 services to 340 military families, veterans, through the efforts of over 150 volunteers right here in the tri-state. And lastly, their work to prevent and alleviate human suffering is vital to strengthening tri-state chapter communities' resilience. We dedicate this month of March to all those who continue to advance the noble legacy of American Red Cross founder Clara Barton, who lived by her words, "You must never think of anything except the need and how to meet it." We ask others to join in this commitment to give back in our community. Now, therefore, by virtue and by the, we ask that this be approved by the commission that March is Red Cross Month.
Busy people.
Happy to do it.
Yeah, I've got some stats here just for Cabell County. That's in tri-state chapter, so that, like I said, that's expands through Kentucky, Ohio, and West Virginia. But just here in Cabell County, we've assisted, this is home fires, 55 families just in Cabell County. We've installed 124 smoke alarms. As you all probably remember, last year we were the signature city, and that's a national event. So Huntington last year was spotlighted because there was a dire need. I mean, Huntington was, we were constantly responding. Every seven people every day die from a home fire. So we were able to help install 124 smoke alarms, educate youth preparedness with 297 people. We had 215 blood drives. We collected 2,691 units of blood. We trained over 1,400 people with CPR and life-saving skills. We assisted 61 veteran members, and we have 49 volunteers just here in Cabell County. And those stats are from January 1st, 2021 to January 31st, 2022. So we're here. I think a lot of people don't know it, but we are in a crisis for blood. We need you all to come out, roll up your sleeves, and give that life-saving blood. We need those volunteers, and that's why I brought Katie along with me, because she wanted to speak about the need for those volunteers.
Thank you, Amber. And I'm Katie Thompson. I am the volunteer recruitment specialist for our region. And just wanted to speak to everyone about the urgent need for volunteers right here in Cabell County. As Amber said, we respond to a disproportionate amount of home fires in this area, and we currently have one disaster action team volunteer in this county. The need is urgent. You can make an actual real impact in your community. I have a flyer about our volunteer needs here. It shows you how you can sign up, contact information. I'd be happy to put it over there if that's okay with the commissioners for anyone to pick up and take. Thank you.
And how far are we down? What's the need in Cabell County for blood?
So they've made a new color on the map. It used to be red was the critical low shortage, but now it's purple. And that tells people, because of COVID, it was hard for people to come. People were not wanting to come because our school shut down. We weren't able to get in and hold those blood drives. They're opening back up. We're hosting more blood drives, and it's so simple. You can just download an app that's called Rapid Pass, and you can actually find out and sign up where your local blood drive is going to be. And it's really neat. After you give that blood, you can follow it, so you can track it where it goes. It might go right here to Huntington, but it's going to go where it's needed most. So some people have given, and it's gone as far up as Pennsylvania, over to California, but it's very critical. But I think our next one, we've got one coming up at Marshall University. We have a few board chairs there, so there's usually 2 or 3 there here in the spring. So over at the A.E. Lewis Center, we have some over there, but we host them quite frequently in our office as well. So
What if we wanted to sign up for the courthouse? Would you come here?
we would love that. Yes, absolutely. We have a different person for that. That's Ben Wilson, who's our blood service manager. So if I have Jim's contact, so if I can have yours, or I'll just get it from him, and then we can coordinate. Absolutely.
I've got my cell phone on the website.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. We would love to come here and set up. We appreciate it.
Do we have a motion to approve the proclamation?
I'm enthusiastically approved.
Been moved. I'll second it. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Item 073 is a letter from Chuck Zirkle, Campbell County Sheriff, employment of Tim S. Proveznik, part-time security officer. So move.
I'll second.
Okay.
Close enough.
This person right here on the paper.
He's a fire marshal. He's been in fire marshal service for 25 years, and he's retiring. He wanted a part-time job. Perfect pick, so it's easy.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The employment is approved. Item 074 is approval of the 2022 election poll workers. Comments or just accept
Are we
them?
still down on the Republican side?
It's got a little bit better, but we still need people.
I know the college Republicans were going to try to get some people. They thought maybe 5. Have you heard from any of them?
I reached out to the leader of the Young Republicans yesterday, but he hasn't called me back.
Anybody who's interested, it's a long day's work and a training session, but it's $250, I think.
Well, it's for the basic.
Yeah.
But-
Delighted to have folks sign up, right?
Right.
I will move to approve.
I'll second that. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The approval of the list passes.
I have one question though. What's the deadline? Like if we've approved these, but what can we, is it already too late to sign up?
No, I mean, we can still take them. We just,
Next item 075 is a letter from Phyllis Smith, Cabell County Clerk, regarding emergency ballot commissioners 2022 primary election. Democratic Executive Committee, Susan Hubbard and Kay Stewart. Republican Executive Committee is Leanne Imperi and Harry Dwight. And these are appointed in case the regular ballot commissioners are unable to serve, correct?
well, these go out to the hospitals or something like that. If somebody goes in the hospital and can't get to vote, they call us, we send somebody.
Is that nursing homes too? Or is it just?
Yes, any place that could have emergency people come in.
I would like to point out too, I know at the VA hospital, they always have a great need for that service, and I have firsthand knowledge that Cabell County is the only county in the surrounding area that provides that service for voters, so thank you.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, I move to approve.
A motion to approve the emergency commissioners has been made. I'll second that. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item 076, approval of Cabell County Commission regarding Barbersville Sanitary Board ARPA-21-5, request for $750,000.
You want to say anything?
I think
On
I've
the
probably
next
said
one.
more than enough, but I appreciate your consideration. As you know, we have shovels in the ground already. Our project is not a matter of, if it gets funded, it's, now we need funding, and we really are in kind of crisis mode to figure out where that gap is, and your help will be much appreciated, not only by Martinsville, but by Key Ridge, as well, I'm sure, so thank you.
And this
for your
could lead to
consideration.
other economic development opportunities from what I understand.
If you'll want the explanation, that what we'd like to do is decommission our lagoons, and then that property is fully developable economic development territory for us. So we've already been in discussions with developers with respect to other business, which I can't really say a whole lot right now because it's early in the process, but as soon as those lagoons are decommissioned and ready for use, for viable use, it would probably come to fruition pretty quick. So yes, besides the infrastructure improvements that we're planning and we will be doing over the next year or so, 2 years even, the plan is to operate decommission that current place it's operating as a sewage lagoon into viable economic development property right off the interstate. Very visible, very marketable. So this overall on the back end will be a great project for the citizens of Cabell County. So appreciate your consideration. Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion?
I move to approve.
I'll second that. All in favor of the approval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item 077 is a letter from Cabell County Commission regarding Supreme Court and Family Court space. If Mr. Armstrong is here, would he please identify himself?
No, this is asking him to come on April
Oh,
14th.
okay. Well, maybe he read.
Unless he
Between the
doesn't
lines.
ever respond to anything we send him, so hopefully he'll respond to this. So we'll see.
I would move the approval of sending the letter to Mr. Armstrong, see if we can find out what the status is.
And I will second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next is item 078, approval of additional senior citizens levy funding for the YMCA's senior programs regarding purchase of property to expand their location.
Was somebody here to speak?
What's that?
Was anybody here to speak? I didn't know.
No, I don't see that.
Considering that the Y does a lot of senior citizens work and that sort of thing, I would approve or ask for the approval of $50,000 from the senior funding to help them in their project.
And that's reducing the request?
What's that?
Was that reducing the request?
Yes.
Okay. And I will second that.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next is item 079, a letter from the Cabell County Commission regarding EDA application for site study.
And that's exactly what it says. This is from HADCO. Do you want to speak on it, Kelly, or not? Or
It's just something that needs to be done. It's like an ongoing. So.
it's a site study, and they need
Well, the
a
thing is, we
letter
don't
of-
have the product,
Right.
for economic development, and so having site-ready properties makes it a lot easier for people wanting to come in to locate here to provide jobs. So that's one thing we lack, and is having the product, which is site-ready properties. So I would move to approve.
I'll second that. All in favor signify by saying aye
Aye.
for the application site study letter of support. Passes. Item 080 is Cabell County Commission Annual Memorandum of Agreement with West Virginia University Cooperative Extension Services and the County Extension Services Committee beginning July 1, 2022.
This is an annual agreement we do with the Extension Service through WVU, and it's their budget, and we set it along with the county's general county budget.
And I was on the call for this, for the approval there, and they seem to like their new
Yeah,
facility
they do.
really well, so
Mhm.
it was a good fit for them.
Yeah.
Going to the old Milton Middle
Yeah,
School.
Leslie has told me numerous times how happy they are up there. So.
Yeah, it was a good fit, so
Mhm.
I will move to approve.
It's been moved. I'll second it. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The memorandum of agreement is passed. Resolution, item 081, resolution Cabell County Commission regarding the appointment of Jim Morgan to the Cabell County Waste Authority.
Let me think about that.
I'll move that.
I'll second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. If you're in the audience and we are, Nancy Cartmill filled many of these positions. And of course, with her loss, a member needs to be appointed. So that's why you'll see our names pop up a few times. Item 082 is a resolution from the Cabell County Commission regarding the appointment of Jim Morgan to the Consolidated Communication Emergency Board, otherwise known as E91.
Move to approve.
911. I'll second that. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The resolution passes. Item 083 is a resolution of the Cabell County Commission regarding the appointment of Kelly Sabanya to the Cabell Huntington Convention and Visitors Bureau, and I'll move that.
I'll second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The resolution passes. Item 084 is a resolution of Cabell County Commission regarding the appointment of Dennis Foreman, Cabell County Deputy Sheriff Civil Service Commission. Dennis has served long and well.
He's your representative on the board, always shows up, does well.
Resolution has been moved. I'll second it. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Resolution in Cabell County Commission regarding the appointment of Jim Morgan to Caova Interstate Planning Commission.
So moved.
A second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Resolution is passed. Item 086 is a resolution of the Cabell County Commission, the appointment of Kelly Sabanya to the Southwestern Community Action Board. I'll move that.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Resolution is passed. 087 is resolution of the Cabell County Commission regarding the appointment of Kelly Sabanya to the Tri-State Airport Authority. Is there a motion? I'll move that.
Second.
And it's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item 088, resolution of the County Commission to reappointment of Beth Thompson to the Region 2 Planning and Development Council.
So moved.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The resolution is adopted. Item 089 is a resolution of the Cabell County Commission of appointment of Dr. Eduardo Pino to the Cabell Huntington Health Department as one of the 3 county appointments.
And does he replace Dr. Kilkenny? I mean, not Dr. Kilkenny, Dr.
I think he has to keep his job.
So Dr.
Ying
Newman
Wang.
was appointed some years ago as a great appointment, and we're asking for another great appointment, physician that can fill those shoes with Dr. Pino.
Move to approve.
Second, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Resolution for the appointment is passed. Item 090 is a resolution of the Cabell County Commission, County Budget Revision Number 3.
This is a county revision for, the assessor's office and moving some money around, from maintenance and repair to contracted services.
Is there a motion? I'll move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item 091 is a resolution of the Cabell County Commission State Budget Revision Number 10.
And this is a state revision and moving some money out of the contingency fund into community-based corrections program, and this is the Day Report Center, and we annually support the Day Report Center with $140,000, and so we needed to increase the budget by about $14,000 to complete that obligation.
And it saves us lots of money.
Yes.
So moved.
Yeah, the Day Report Center saves us how much, you think?
That's not home confinement.
Yeah, it's
Well-
It's day report, but they do divert a lot of people there that would be in jail, yes. To try to get them into some type of treatment, activities, things like that to keep them busy.
And they do litter cleanup, don't they?
They do some, we do the volume.
Probation does that as
We do most of the litter with the home confinement, but I'm going to try to get them to be more engaged because it seems like every county road we got, people,
It's terrible.
litter's become a big thing. in there for some
It's
reason.
terrible.
So,
Yes, we have a letter about that also,
Thanks.
another day. It's been moved and seconded, is that right?
So, I think I moved.
I second.
Yeah, you're second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The resolution for the state budget revision is passed. And place on record, minutes to be recorded, Salt Rock Public Service District Board Meeting, February 8th, 2022. And the Pea Ridge Public Service District Board Meeting, January 10th, 2022. Other documents to be recorded are Pea Ridge Public Service District Managers and Field Report 2021, Pea Ridge Public Service District General Ledger and Income Balance Sheet, and for period 7, year ending 2022.
To place on record.
Second that, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those documents shall be placed on record, and Commissioners' representation reports, good and welfare of Cabell County. Guess we better find something to fix public service districts with. If there are no other comments or
Oh,
items.
I'm sorry. Mike Davis, I think wants to
Oh,
update
yes,
you.
thank you.
Just 1 second if I could. Just wanted to give you kind of an update on the addressing project. We finished up the Sage portion, and it's went to the Postal Service, who's now returning the information. So we're gonna be ready to actually roll out the letters to the residents as of Tuesday. And on Tuesday, we're going to hold a press conference at our organization, at about 10 a.m. You know, of course, we'd like to invite you if you'd like to come out. But we're gonna then let the news and the newspaper and so forth know what we're doing. Again, as we said, we would do periodically. We only changed one road change, I think, in the Sage, an actual road name. We had the name for, we let the residents do that, but there were a lot of address numerical changes to get them in the right orders by the equations and by the state. The signs have been ordered for those changes through the Department of Corrections. As soon as they get in, we'll get those installed. The signs that we talked about in our previous update have all been installed. I'd like to thank the sheriff and the home confinement is the ones that actually installed those for us, and that was a great help. But anyway, that's where we are. We're still working on Milton and Ona. We will continue to do so. Ona will be a little easier. Milton has been a challenge. It's almost completed, and we hope to get that to the Postal Service as quick as possible. The assessor should get his data package maybe tomorrow, if not, probably Monday. We'll be able to continue to work with LaSage on that information. All right?
Ona is the next one that would actually go through the process.
Ona and Milton, as soon as we can. Milton's been an ongoing one for about a month and a half.
Right.
Because of the changes. There was a lot of problems in the Milton area. I mean, as our contractor said, it's one of the worst edit sheets that he's ever dealt with. So that one's been a challenge, but we're still working it. And then we'll build Ona in there with it, so we can do 2 at a time. When that's all said and done, then we'll start on Barboursville and Washington Huntington zip code that we have to deal with, which would be 2 of our largest.
When's that gonna be?
Well, working with the assessor's office, because we're gonna get into that space of time that it's extremely busy with county work. We're going to be physically working on our end of it for the next several months. Soon, Milton's almost done.
I mean, like rural area of Barboursville. When do you plan to get that in?
That'll be the next thing we attack, is that one first.
Cause I need to know if I need to order new checks or not.
We'll let you know, yes ma'am. Not sure exactly how in depth that'll be, but it's a large zip code, obviously. And then there may be some part of this actual village of Barboursville, but that will be up to the mayor, what we do there. All right, but I'd like to invite you Tuesday if you'd like to come out. We're just basically giving the information and so forth.
Tuesday at 10 a.m.
Yes, sir.
At your place,
Yes, sir.
okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other?
Does Alex have anything to say? Do you have anything on behalf of?
No, I don't have anything. Is there anything you guys need from me?
No, you just heard some requests out there. You're still with, the senator, right? Everything. Well, you heard some of our needs here, so isn't it time for earmark time?
We are since we finally got the last fiscal year done, we are getting ready to start that process again, and I'll be sure to flag that for everybody so we can get everybody's requests.
Yeah. Sounds good. Thank you.
We will sign appropriate documents, which appear to be stacked up here, and after that, we will adjourn.